Good evening, everybody. November 21st, 2021. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. So it is continuing to not really signal anything in either direction, to be perfectly honest. At this point in time, the Bears have the ball in their court for sure. It is certainly possible that it's just chopping and we're just going to get sideways action for a while. This bullish path is completely off the table now. So overnight action was interesting in that we sort of continued to chop around this area. Remember I said it really didn't break down and sustain below that, and then it continued to chop there, and then we had this pop up basically at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. like New York time anyway. That was then completely sold down, and basically all of those gains were eradicated. So it began to look like this potentially would be a 1-2 on the way down. It so far hasn't accelerated downwards as we would expect for a third. So that's why I say, maybe it's just going to chop for a while. However, it has not invalidated this yet. Invalidation of that impulse would come actually right around here at this 57.3 area once again, which is the 618 of that move from here to here and up. So that's the fib extension we have drawn there. And the 618, once you pass this 1.0 extension, which we did right here, then the 618 becomes kind of the point at which it invalidates. If it goes above that, it's at least no longer impulsive down. Could it still do a diagonal move downwards or something? Yes, it certainly could. But above that 57.3 area would invalidate the impulse anyway. So I think all of that being said, best thing that I can say at this point is that below 57.3, 57.3, 57.4 area, below that, the pressure remains down. As long as we remain below that point, we are very likely going to see this move down to the 52 to 53 area that I've been expecting. The alternative would be if we break above that, then I guess we're just going to keep chopping sideways, and maybe we make our way up and retry for an impulse at some point. We do have a possibility of a double bottom here, like this, the neckline being right there at about 60K. So if it can, the only way that the bulls have any control over this at all is if it can get back above that 60K area and do it in such a way that it gives a 5-wave move up. That would be the only way realistically that this could turn bullish in the short term. Without that, we're going to continue chopping sideways and or go down for this lower low. It is worth noting that we are currently still within this kind of pale white diagonal I have drawn on here. We are still within that. So it is within the realm of possibilities that does double bottom and we go up from here, which would lead us into the last leg of this bull market, like I've mentioned, which may end up here somewhere in the 80 to 90K area. Kind of seems to make sense in that scenario. Alternately, if we do break down and continue downwards into this area here, I would likely expect a dead cat bounce of some description and then further downside, because this would not look like a complete correction then. This would be a single 5-wave move down, and you really do not get a single 5-wave down. Typically that's then followed by a 3-wave correction, dead cat bounce, and then a further 5-wave decline down, which may take us somewhere into the 40K range. So that's if we get into this area. That would be my expectation. And then we would be moving into this red diagonal count, which actually could lead us potentially higher. However, it will signal some extreme volatility. You know, we'll be expecting kind of 30K swings to either direction as we move up and down within that larger diagonal. So anyway, something to keep an eye on. That scenario is still in play. So for now, you know, very, very short term, like I said, just below 57.3 keeps the pressure down immediately. Above that favors at least chopping sideways, if nothing else. And then certainly, you know, if we get above this, what I have marked as a B right now, if we get above that level, so I'm going to remove this old one. Okay, so basically above 60K would then put us into this double bottom scenario, and we'll have to see what the action looks like, but the target for that would be 64.5, it looks like, at a minimum. And if we can do that, and you know, it will have to do that as a 5-way move, but if we can do that, I would favor then the bottom being in this area, and moving up in the last leg of the bull market sooner rather than later. So we'll just have to wait and see, and we can certainly draw a diagonal there as well, which may provide resistance on the way up, in addition to needing to break that horizontal level. So all right, I think that pretty much covers all various scenarios that we might see in the short term. So I will end the video here. We'll see where we are in the morning and see if there's anything further that I can add to that. And we'll go from there. All right, good night, everybody.